Alaska. The Skagway Museum is located on 700 Spring Street in Skagway, Alaska, and is open 9 to 5 Saturdays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and Saturdays 9 to 4. Also, the museum is housed in a 1898 building, also housing City Hall. It began life as a short-lived Gold Rush era college and later became a federal courthouse and jail. Since 1961, the City Hall and Skagway Museum have occupied the building except for a brief pause of renovations. Also, the museum has history of the Gold Rush and showcasing the region's history. Also, near the museum, there's a trail near the railroad line, which is the White Pass and Yukon Railroad, and trains go by as well, and there are some railroad equipment that used to run on those rails as well, such as 2 flat cars and a steam locomotive as well. What you see right behind me is White Pass and Yukon 195.
White Pass and Yukon 195 was built by Baldwin in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1943 and is the 694 30th steam locomotive built by that factory and is a 282 Mikado type steam locomotive. This locomotive was originally used for the United States Army Corps of Engineers as United States Army Corps of Engineers 195 and was used in Skagway, Alaska, and was used by the Army on the White Pass and Yukon Railroad as well. In 1946 was retired, and in 1947 was used on the White Pass and Yukon Railroad as White Pass and Yukon 195 and had been working for the White Pass and Yukon Railroad as well. Also, its original tender was reassigned to one of these 4 locomotives, and they're all 282s, 2 Mikados, 72 which was sold out to Dollywood in 1986 and chassis was scrapped in 1999, 73 which is part of the White Pass and Yukon Railroad, 80 which is in McEwen, Oregon, the first White Pass and Yukon steam locomotive 81 which is also in McEwen, Oregon. Then the locomotive was retired, and in 1962 it was donated to the city of Skagway, Alaska, and also put on display right here adjacent to the Skagway Museum in Skagway, Alaska, where it is today, and next to the White Pass and Yukon Railroad as well. Also, the tender from First 81 might or might not be the 195's original tender as well, and it got put displayed with the locomotive as well. Also, White Pass and Yukon 195 is one of either 9 surviving White Pass and Yukon 282s left in the world today, and 8 survive on land today, and also can be seen in this spot next to the tracks it used to run on many years ago, and also as well. And also you can even visit the locomotive's cab and sit where the engineer and fireman used to sit as well.
What you see right behind me is White Pass and Yukon 1001.
White Pass and Yukon 1001 was built by the White Pass and Yukon Railroad in Skagway, Alaska in 1954 and is a flat car. The car was made from unused passenger car underframe, and also it was used on the White Pass and Yukon Railroad for many years, and it had been used for hauling cargo. It has hauled in the past and was used on freight trains in the past for the White Pass and Yukon Railroad for many years, and hauled loads that a flat car like this one may have hauled in the past, such as containers. Then, in 1998, it was retired and also got put on display right here adjacent to the Skagway Museum in Skagway, Alaska, where it is today, and next to the White Pass and Yukon Railroad as well. And also, you'll see it has a load on top as well.
What you see right behind me is White Pass and Yukon 1128.
White Pass and Yukon 1128 was built by Pullman in 1942 and is a flat car. Originally, this car was built as a boxcar and was originally used on the Ferrocarril del Estado, which is in Spanish for Argentine State Railway. Then it was sold to United States Army as United States Army 23135. In 1944, it was cut down to being a work car. In 1946, it was then transferred to the White Pass and Yukon Railroad. In 1947, it was renumbered as White Pass and Yukon X9 and was the first White Pass and Yukon X9. In 1952, it soon became the underframe for White Pass and Yukon Tanker Car 11. In 1959, it was converted to being a flat car and renumbered as White Pass and Yukon 1128 and hauled loads that a flat car hauled many years ago, such as containers as well. Then, in 1998, it was retired and also got put on display right here adjacent to the Skagway Museum in Skagway, Alaska, where it is today and next to the White Pass and Yukon Railroad as well. And also, you'll see it has a load on top as well.
What you see right behind me is White Pass and Yukon 663.
White Pass and Yukon 663 was built by Pacific Car and Foundry in Renton, Washington in 1940 and is a drop-bottom gondola. It was originally numbered as White Pass and Yukon 803. Then, in 1947, renumbered as White Pass and Yukon 863, and then in 1960 is White Pass and Yukon 663. And this car was used for carrying cargo such as rocks and even stones and was used on the White Pass and Yukon Railroad for many years as well. In 1991, it was sold to the Sumter Valley Railroad as Sumter Valley 663. In 2005, it was sold back to the White Pass and Yukon Railroad, and then in 2016, it was retired and also got put on display right here adjacent to the Skagway Museum in Skagway, Alaska, where it is today and next to the White Pass and Yukon Railroad as well.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed learning about trains with me today in Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show. Also, I hope to see you all again in the next segment. So this is Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show. Sign out until next time. All aboard!